How? How are we supposed to discover it? It goes back to thinking about the illustration given to us of the living God's chief apostle suspended between heaven and earth. By taking out of our routine the established routine of theologians, past and present, we can then discover the mind or the conscience of our faith. And that's important. That's important because we are human beings. We get very wrapped up in doctrines. We get very wrapped up in whatever stimulates the condition, the natural condition of our human being. And they sound tantalizing, they sound great, they sound lovely, they sound, ooh, I have to hear more. But they don't do anything positive. They leave you going, I need to hear more and more and more and more and more. And you spend your time hearing different voices, reading different things, watching different videos, researching different whatever. And you never arrive at the point that you're looking for because you're still thirsty. You're looking to quench your thirst in what cannot ever quench your thirst. The philosophy within the religious world is not a thirst quencher. What you're actually trying to do is you're trying to discover the you. You're trying to discover a value in what you believe to be valuable within the Bible, or within the image that you have within your mind of what, quote-unquote, God is. Which image is incorrect according to the standard within the Bible. Let's take, for example, who we call God. We call God, quote-unquote, God, the Creator. We know Him to be a creator. We know everything around us is a creation, and everything was created. So we attribute the force or the power that created to some specific being or deity termed God. And this isn't weird because there has always been a deity of creation. You go back to the Egyptian religion and Ra. Ra was the creator. At the same point in time, El was the creator. Actually, El in the Bible translates to God. El and Ra, according to the traditional stories that we would entrust our intelligence to, is the creator. Ra, creator. El, creator today. Let him be called God. So we attribute creation and everything that we see as being created. We call that force God. The force that created anciently was called, again, Ra or El, or today, whatever you want to call him, we can say God. But this is incorrect. This is very, very incorrect. And it plays on to the point or to the position of an atheist that says if God created this, then who created God? which is a very fair question. Well, the answer is that we're not looking at it too clearly if we go back to the book of Genesis and look at it strategically and examine it surgically. We will find that the living God placed into the atmosphere an intelligence to create. We falsely call that intelligence God. The intelligence came from the living God. So now there's two stories here. In one tradition, that creating force, that mind creating everything, is called God. But should we go back and actually study the language and the context of the Bible, we will understand that that mind creating everything was given an intelligence. Instead of attributing whatever we attribute to that intelligence, it should, in reality, be directed to the one that gave the intelligence. This is important. This is important because the subject of caring. When we care, we are invested. And when we're caring too seriously about life, we are invested in the operation of life. We are trying to manipulate the intelligence within life that we think we can manipulate. Causes and effects. But we can't. That intelligence was given a boundary and a course to live by. When we're caring, we, as individual human beings, we are born from that intelligence that the living God placed into this atmosphere. The more we aggravate that mind, the more we do not learn the mind of the mind that gave that mind its intelligence, the more we will continue to frustrate ourselves. This is why the illustration of the living God's man suspended between heaven and earth, crucified, is relevant and forever will be relevant. Because with that body being a symbolic representation of a religious philosophy advising you to take your intelligence, your beauty, and your piety, and your sincerity from handwritten religious commandments, traditions, deeds, and rites. Having that crucified, it eliminates the tension of control, because that's all that is. That's honestly all that is. It is taken seriously through your own force and will by rites, commandments, and what is handwritten to be believed in your experience, instead of leaving your experience to, I'll say, faith. The experience is taken too seriously and is controlled. But the issue is that if you need faith in something, you have to have something before your faith has reached a level to where you can just give it away. Faith needs a lens. Faith needs knowledge. By discovering you find knowledge of you. By refraining from what the Bible's philosophy is telling us to refrain from, which is what that body suspended between heaven and earth represents. By refraining from that, we are actually discovering the mind within our faith. Discovering that mind is discovering the why behind our reason for continuing to believe on what we cannot see. For continuing to believe on what we are not 100% sure of. edifying that mind within our faith, within our conversations conscience. This is an education that serves to nourish our natural mind. Once the devotional mind can be healed, that mind will speak to our natural mind, and having the experience, we will learn that nothing should be taken so seriously. And so, that's just the point. Once you discover you, both personally and devotionally, you've discovered creation. You've discovered the living God's intention for creation. As the living God placed an intelligent mind into this atmosphere to create, so also by refraining from what is recorded as being negative to our devotional conscience, His words can place into our mind an intelligence to create a new person inwardly. And that is a blessing.